Hi there everybody, Ollie here, aka Secret Nimbus here with another episode of Magic Duels. So for today's episode I'm going to be going through the deck tech for my Bant tempo deck and then also playing some games. So to start off with, we've got the Sylvan Advocate, so introduced in Oath of the Gatewatch. It's a 2 mana 2/3 with Vigilance, so pretty good card for 2 mana. Also if we get 6 or more mana in our control, he gets a +2/+2 buff, so this card is very tricksy, very nice. Next we've got the Duskwatch Recruiter, so we can use them to search up for more creatures by paying 3 mana. Also if it flips, we also get the Crown Horde Howler, where all of our creature spells cost 1 less to cast. Next we have the Disperse, so just bounces back any non-land permanent to its owner's hand, so you can bounce back big creatures, enchantments, all sorts of stuff. It's just a nice utility spell. Declaration in Stone, so an exile spell to deal with big creatures which we can't either bounce or keep tapped down. Thalia, Heretic Cathar, so a 3/2 first striker, which also forces all non-basic lands and creatures our opponent enter the battlefield tapped, so really nice card. Bygone Bishop, so basically every single creature card in this deck bar 2 are 3 mana or less, so when they would get played with the Bygone Bishop we would get to investigate, so it allows us to draw cards long term. Frost Lynx is in here, so it's a 2/2 creature which when it enters the battlefield you get to tap down a creature our opponent controls and it stays tapped down during its controller's next untapped step, so it's a nice way of like nullifying a particular creature for 2 turns. Tireless Tracker, so a 3/2 when we put a land into the battlefield we get to investigate, and then whenever we sacrifice one of those clues from the investigation we get to pump up Tireless Tracker. Reclamation Sage is in here again to deal with all of the enchantment based decks running around, especially the tutelage ones, so this is here to destroy the early game Sphinx's tutelage or Fevered Visions. Spell Queller is quite nice, so we can flash this in and when it enters the battlefield we get to exile target spell with converted mana cost 4 or less, so basically before it enters the battlefield we can essentially counter it by exiling it. When Spell Queller leaves the battlefield our opponent can then cast that spell that we have exiled, but it's a good way of stalling out a particular spell to potentially have a less of an impact later on. We've got the Reflector Mage, so a 2/3 body which can also bounce a creature back to an opponent's hand. They then can't play that creature out until the next turn, so it's a really good way of bouncing back a creature and forcing our opponent to not be able to play it for quite a little while. Bounding Krasis is a nice staple of all tempo decks since Origins, so you can flash this in on your opponent's end step or just before a opponent's creature is about to attack you can tap it down and then you've got a body for next turn for you to swing with as well. It's a nice 3/3 body which is really cool. Do like Bounding Krasis. Always Watching, for a creature heavy deck such as a tempo one like this it's kind of a no-brainer. We've got white, we want Always Watching, gives all of our creatures +1/+1 and Vigilance. Collective Effort is in here as enchantment removal. We can also use it to destroy large creatures, which is pretty cool. Then onto the Planeswalkers, so the first one is Gideon, so we can use him to generate tokens or swing big with a 5/5 indestructible human. Tamiyo is one of the reasons I wanted to make a Bant tempo deck in the first place, so this is quite a nice tempo card, so we can use up to 2 target creatures until our next turn. Whenever those creatures deals combat damage we get to draw a card, which is pretty sweet. We can also -2 it to tap 2 target non-land permanents and then don't untap during their controller's next untap step, so basically what the Frost Lynx does but in a Planeswalker form. And then whenever we can activate her ultimate we draw 3 cards and get an emblem which basically allows us to cast non-land cards from our hand without paying their mana cost. That is insane, that is a brilliant ultimate ability. We've also got Kiora. I don't think I've ever actually managed to get Kiora into one of my decks, so this is a first for me. So her abilities are we get to untap 1 target creature and 1 target land. We can also search up the top 4 cards of our library and put a creature and or land card from among them into our hand. Also, if we get to activate our ultimate, we get an emblem that we can also, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under our control, we may have it fight target creature, so we don't have to have it fight it, but we can have it fight. Also, if we do, we get to put 3/8/8 blue octopus creature tokens onto the battlefield, which is kind of ridiculous. To finish off with, we've got a couple of late game threats. So we've got Avacyn, so she's a 4/4 angel with flying and vigilance. Also when she enters the battlefield, all of our creatures gain indestructible. We can also flip her to form Avacyn the Purifier, when one of our other creatures dies, and she also then sweeps the board for 3 damage. And then finally, one of my old favourites, we've got Willbreaker. So whenever a creature an opponent controls becomes the target of a spell or ability I control, we gain control of that creature for as long as Willbreaker is in the battlefield. So that is really cool. In terms of the mana base, we've got 3 plains and 3 islands, if we've got the most of them. Just dropping down the forest by 1, just because, you know, it's the least represented card in the deck. Don't think there's any double green spells either. Nope, but we do have at least 1 double white and 1 double blue spell. And then we've got 2 of each of the dual colours representing the colours in play. And then finally, of course, we've got the Evolving Wilds for the mana fixing. So that is my tempo deck. Let's go play some games. Okay guys, here we are for game number 1. Let's see what we get here. This is not a great opening hand. Ugh, neither is this. This is, yeah, we're going to have to keep... Actually, this is not too bad. I mean, we've had to go down to 6, but at least we've got the Sylvan Advocate and a Declaration in Stone. So, yeah. Who are we playing? We're playing the rank 39 Banana Fist. I've dropped down a few ranks while I've been playtesting this deck, and looks like we're playing Madness Vampires. So that could be a problem. I think we'll start off with the Evolving Wilds here. We'll also get ourselves a blue mana and then probably play out the forest next turn. So we do have the instant Neonate down already. No black mana, which could be good for us because it could mean that some of his Madness triggerers aren't available. So let's play out Let's play out the Evolving Wilds even. Get the blue source, as that is the 1 basic mana we are missing. Now we definitely want to play the forest out here. There we go, so we can actually play the Sylvan Advocate. We do have a Disperse, which could be useful later on. So Prairie Stream is one of those that we need 2 basic mana, which we've covered. Possibly want to play Lumbering Falls out next turn, just because we've got 2 mana spells. I mean, we might want to play the Plains and just declare in stone something. See what he does first, though. I mean, if he plays out, say, for example, a second Insolent Neonate, so he's just sacking that straight away and playing out the Incorrigible Youths. Okay, so that's something that we probably want to either Disperse or declare in stone. Probably want to Disperse it, just because it forces him to replay out again later on. So we'll take the 4 damage. Because it's quite an expensive card. It's usually 5 mana, so unless he's got another Madness trigger, he's not going to be able to play it. We do also have the Bounding Krasis for later on, so yeah, I'm going to put out the Lumbering Falls. We're then going to swing with the Sylvan Advocate. I want to see what he does first before dispersing this. I want to see if he plays anything else out first. If not, we're just going to disperse it back. We do have a Bounding Krasis for later on, which is awesome. So he's going to play out an Air of Falconwreath, so that's something that we may want to consider declaring in stone, because that would allow him to get back out his Incorrigible Youths again. So yeah, I think we want to probably declare you in stone. Plus he's a flyer, so is he going to flip it? It's not really going to matter. So he's going to flip the Air of Falconwreath first. And he's going to play out Fiery Temper. I half suspected he was going to do that. So we are going to lose our Sylvan Advocate, which is fine. And then we're just going to exile you. So we're at this point, we're just trying to prevent him from getting back out that Incorrigible Youths until we've got another way of dealing with it. So he's going to sacrifice a clue to investigate. He's up to 4 mana. We have got an Olivia's Bloodsworn. Luckily, that won't be able to come in this turn. So what I probably want to do here is Bygone Bishop. Does give us a blocker for the Olivia's Bloodsworn. And then we've got the Bounding Krasis for later on to then activate a clue and kind of like tap something down when we want to. So, oh my god, he's got the lightning axe. That is brutal. So we are going to see the incorrigible use come back. Yeah, I had one really good game against Madness Vampires, and since then I've been struggling a little bit more. So maybe Bounding Krasis may have been a better idea. We are going to take 6 damage here. See what he does next. We do have another Sylvan Advocate, which is pretty cool. So I'm probably going to play you out. Do I have enough mana for this? Yeah, I do. So make sure I don't tap down both of my green mana. No, that should be fine. Yeah, that's going to be fine. We can still play out the Bounding Krasis, which is what we want. So I'm probably going to flash in the Bounding Krasis. Tap down his 2-1. See what he does first. That will allow us to trade with the incorrigible use, which is what we want. So he's going to play out the Stensian Masquerade. Okay, that's not particularly good. We're going to tap you down. So what do I want to do here? I mean, I can destroy that next turn. I should have tapped down this one. That was maybe a slight mistake there. Although this one can keep going over my head. So that does have first strike. Do we let that go through, or do we just chump block? Because basically we're going to lose this creature. Yeah, I think we'll sacrifice the 2/3. And then we're just going to have to Rec Sage the Stensian Masquerade. Ooh, we do have the Collective Defiance though. That'll actually do both here. So we can actually destroy the enchantment and also destroy his incorrigible use, which is quite good. All in one card. So that's pretty interesting. Or how much mana we got? We got. So we don't have enough to play out both these anyway. So I think I'm just going to Collective Defiance. We're going to destroy you and also destroy target enchantment. So we're going to destroy you, tap down, and we have to tap down the Bounding Krasis. So that is the incorrigible use dealt with. I mean, we've still got the Olivia's Bloodsworn in play, and we still need like a threat of our own. Like, we've just not found any of our Planeswalkers. Oh my god, another incorrigible use. That's filthy. This card is just, oh my god. I love this card, playing with it, but I never seem to get it whenever I'm playing blooming Madness Vampires though. Okay, we need... Spell Queller is potentially quite good. So we're going to skip attack here. I'm going to block you, and then we can flash in Spell Queller to then trade with the Olivia's Bloodsworn. So playing flashing Spell Queller, which will allow us to trade. Oh my god, what's he got? Has he got a Fiery Temper? He's probably got a Fiery Temper. Which would really ruin my day. Of course he has. Why didn't he just play that anyway? Game. Right, let's move on to game number 2, guys. Okay, guys, here we are for game number 2. Teveron, is that a YouTuber? I think he might be. This could be interesting. This is horrible. That is not bad. I think we can probably get away with this. We can get green from the Evolving Wilds. We do have the Gideon as well, so if we can get to 4th mana, we should be alright. Yeah, Teveron YT. I'm fairly sure he's a YouTuber, Teveron. So I wonder if this is going to make it onto his onto one of his videos. Could be interesting. He could be play testing a deck. Let's pop our green mana. There we go, let's grab a forest. We haven't really got anything we can do turn 2 here. We've got a potential Spell Queller to come and a Bygone Bishop, which is quite nice. Thinking maybe going Bygone Bishop next turn, depending on what he plays. If he plays that, I swear to god, if we're playing Madness Vampires again, I will actually go mad myself. No, doesn't look like it. So nothing from Teveron. So I'm probably going to go Prairie Stream here. This will allow me to get my 2nd blue, which is good. My god, it's boiling in my room today. I'm absolutely igniting. It's been like crazy hot here in September in the UK for the last couple of days. Okay, so we've got Sulphur Falls. I'm wondering if this is a mill deck. Teveron, you cheeky man. So yeah, I'm wondering if the YT does stand for YouTube. Would be a good indicator. So I'm hoping he doesn't have the Sulphur Falls. What am I on about? That's the Sulphur Falls, isn't it? Yeah, I'm hoping he doesn't have tutelage. Fiery Temper, okay. So that's our Bygone Bishop dealt with. So yeah, let's just play out you, because that's going to allow us to get our second blue source, and we'll hold open the Spell Queller and see what he does. So if this is a tutelage deck, then I kind of want to use Spell Queller to exile a tutelage before he can play it. Okay, so we got the. So do we exile the Abbot of Keral Keep? Yeah, why not? This is looking like a prowess deck. So let's get you exiled. He could possibly just burn this down, but I mean he's already played out a Fiery Temper. This will slow him down for a turn, I hope, though. And he's got a Lightning Axe. Okay, so he's going to have to discard a card to get this in play. He did have to waste a second spell to get the Abbot of Keral Keep online. And he had to toss away a Thing in the Ice. So let's pop you now. What do we go for here, then? Yeah, we need second blue for the Willbreaker. Probably just want to get Gideon down, to be fair. And then we want to save the Frost Lynx to steal something with the Willbreaker. What did he get? He got an island. It's a pretty good play for a Abbot. Okay, that's cool. So probably just play out the... Yeah, we'll play out the Evolving Wilds here. And then the Gideon. And then, yeah, we'll just put the... Obviously put the Knight token in play. So we can steal something with a Willbreaker and a Frost Lynx. Shame we don't have enough mana to play both of them on one turn, but... It's got Collective Defiance. Deals 4 damage to target creature, 3 damage to target opponent, so he can deal with both of them. Okay. So we are going to lose our Gideon, I think. Let's just pop you then. So goodbye, Gideon. It was nice knowing you. So what do we do here then? Like I said, I don't really want to do Willbreaker as is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, I could Frost Lynx. Or I could just Willbreaker. And hope that he's got no way of removing it. So then we could then potentially get something like the Abbot of Keral Keep next turn. So he is going to cycle. Each player draws a card and discards a card. Okay, so what do I want to get rid of here? I'm probably going to get rid of the Glacial Fortress and keep the Tireless Tracker. And he got rid of... Oh, he got rid of a Fiery Temper. Okay, in hindsight, should have kept the land for the Tireless Tracker. Kind of sucks, but never mind. So we're going to take 3 damage here. I think this is the first combat damage that one of us has actually dealt throughout the entire match. We're going to find... We have found a Collective Defiance, which is quite nice. I've got no mana, so I don't really want to play out Tireless Tracker right now. So let's just tap down the Abbot. That is 2 Fiery Tempers down, though. So we kind of need a mana to make the Tireless Tracker more worthwhile, as it's going to allow us to play him out, investigate, and then draw a card as well. So we are going to cycle again. What are we going to find? We're going to find a Bounding Krasis. I'm probably going to get rid of the Collective Effort. It's probably the least useful. Oh my god, he's got another Fiery Temper. That is ridiculous. You know what? I don't actually care. Yeah, I know. Kill my Frost Lynx. What have we got here then? Thermo Alchemist. Tap it down, deals 1 damage to... So I could play out the Bounding Krasis here. And just tap that down. At least we can swing for 3 that way. Mana? Hey, there we go. So we can actually play out the Tireless Tracker here. And the Hinterland Harbor. And we can also draw as well. This has been a good match. We've got a Sylvan Advocate. Do I want to save that? I'm thinking probably yes. Do I skip attack here? That does 1 damage to each opponent. Okay, it's only dealing 1 damage. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, untap Thermo Alchemist. Yeah, it's pretty... You know, I think we'll probably swing for 3 here. This will actually be a 4/5, won't it? So maybe I do want to get this down now. Just because it's an even better blocker for the Abbot of Keral Keep. This doesn't look like the kind of deck that's going to be running any kind of like sweepers, and even if he was, it's only 2 colours, so the best he could do. So even if he had a, is it the? I always forget what it's called. When I'm not playing it in my decks, I always forget what it's called. It's the Converge one, the one that can do up to 3 damage, and even then it wouldn't actually kill any of my creatures. So. I would love a Evolving Wilds. Okay, so he's found a Fevered Visions. That's actually, I almost feel like it's benefiting us more than him, right? Well, it's benefiting us both. Wow. Double Fevered Visions. Okay, interesting. We can still trade with the Abbot, which is good for us. This is going to draw us 2 cards every turn. And with the way the game's going, that's going to help us just as much as it's going to help him. Especially if we could, like, bounce this back, for example. So he did draw 2 cards there. We are going to get an Always Watching, which is brilliant. I don't really mind playing this out. We're going to draw 2 cards from the Fevered Visions. So this has been a fun game. I've enjoyed this, especially as I'm playing against a fellow YouTuber. So this match could end up going on the old YouTube. So we're going to draw 2 cards here, not lose any health. Oh yes, we've got the Evolving Wilds for... Oh, we've got the Archangel Avacyn. Oh my god, this is all coming up, Ollie. Thanks to those double Fevered Visions. He does have 4 cards now, one of them being a mana. I'm hoping 2 more of them are manas as well, and one's a pretty useless card. We have the Bedlam Reveler, so that is going to be pretty cheap. Oh yes, he has to toss away his entire hand, doesn't he? Yeah, 2 of them were mana actually, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, his prowess is +1/+1. When it enters the battlefield, discard your hand and draw 3 cards. So yeah, he did actually have 2 mana in his hand. That is kind of funny. I was like, yeah, please be 2 mana, but one of them was the Bedlam Reveler, so he was able to toss 2 of them away and get himself a nice 3/4 creature, which would cost 8, except it came in dirt cheap because he had plenty of instants and sorceries in his graveyard. So while the early game Fiery Tempers were a problem, we have come right back into this in the late game, which has been quite nice. Has a Collective Defiance, so he can deal 3 damage to me and 4 damage to target creature. He can also completely discard and redraw his entire hand. I'm wondering whether or not this is a tutelage deck and whether or not he's just not found either of his tutelages. Like it almost looks like it could be a cross between a tutelage and a prowess deck, because it's obviously got some prowess cards such as the Thing in the Ice, the Abbot of Keral Keep, and the Bedlam Reveler. So that is going to get pumped up. He's going to deal 4 damage to my... is it 4 damage? Yeah, it is 4 damage to target creature, isn't it? And then he tossed away an Avacyn's Judgment. So he's going to draw 2 more cards. He's at 8 health. So we won't get the draw off of the let's play out the Lumbering Falls here. We're going to swing with both of these. Reason being is that we can flash in Avacyn, and then so we can't actually kill it, which is good. So we are pushing through 9 damage here unless he blocks at least one of these. So maybe we don't need to flash in Avacyn now then. See what Teveron does. So he's going to block the 5/6. Yeah, I'm glad I played this one when I did now, because it was. So we do kill the Bedlam Reveler. And let's see what happens. So we do draw 2 cards here. I mean, we could have played out. We are going to lose 2 damage. We are going to take 2 damage here. The first Fevered Visions won't harm us. How much mana have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm almost half tempted to just flash in the Bounding Krasis now, but no, that'd be almost be a bit of a waste. So yeah, we are going to take the 2 damage there, unfortunately. So we do have the Archangel Avacyn to make both of these indestructible this turn, and potentially guarantee the win with an additional 4 points of flying damage. This has been a fun game. Like he had the early game momentum, and I've definitely had, as the game's gone on, the tempo has started to build up. It took a while, but I think this has benefited me more than it's benefited him. He has had some trash tier draws, like a lot of mana probably didn't help. Let's just flash in Avacyn, just because. So he's going to have had something pretty special in those 2 card draws. How many Collective Defiances does he get? He gets 2, and he's played both of them, I believe. Yeah, he's played both Collective Defiances. I'm trying to think what else would be able to deal with all of this in red and blue. So we are going to cycle here, so I'm just going to throw in Evolving Wilds or a Glacial Fortress. Either works for me. Yeah, I'll just throw away you. What else has he got? Yeah, this has been pretty crushing. I feel that we've probably won here. Okay, yep. We would also have a Reclamation Sage to destroy one of these. I think this is probably just GG. Yeah, looks like it, guys. Okay, yes. Beat my fellow YouTuber. Get in there. Sorry, Teveron. But Ghost Secret Numbers today. Okay, awesome. So we're back at the rank 37, and that was a much better demonstration of how this deck is supposed to work. So yeah, I'm going to leave the episode here for now. As always, guys, don't forget to comment and like if you've enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.